I'd say usually with Africa, I'm not surprised with certain decisions, but I'm absolutely shocked. This is gutless, spineless, no backbone in this decision making whatsoever. After a couple of weeks of decision making, they end up with just paychecks. This is a bonus. This is a nice, before the summer holidays, you know, booking your trips away with this money kind of thing. This is $750,000 not even fined here. And they got millions and millions of pounds of reward for winning the African Cup of Nations, which got absolutely tampered with. A 5-match ban, which he wouldn't even care with that. That's a celebration for him. 100 grand, which Senegalese FA will pay off, and 600 grand, again, is barely a drop in the ocean. They say you shouldn't save a drowning person, but luckily Morocco in that 1 month was able to save a drowning Africa Cup of Nations. They showed that African Cup of Nations can literally be up there with the Euros, with the big leagues, you know, the most watched African Cup of Nations ever. We saved a drowning person, but unfortunately Africa with the backlash and their lies and fake news and constant narratives throughout the tournament, this is what results into it. And with this decision, what ended up happening is you've headed back in headfirst into the sea. You've ended up wanting to drown. Now you're drowning miserably. I mean, this is an awful decision. So this now means if you don't agree with a decision, if you're not happy with what's going on the field that you feel personally, just walk your players off, head to the changing rooms for about half an hour, sit down, regroup, think about the tactics, rehydrate, and then when you feel like it, you walk back out. Well done. You've sent a whole message to the whole world that no matter what happens, if you're not happy with everything, you decide what happens. Well done, showing the kids that just make a big tantrum, just walk off the pitch when you're not happy with the decision. Well done. You've absolutely destroyed football. And this is beautifully put by the Cameroon manager or staff. He said, if CAF were a serious and strict organisation, they would ban him for life. And then we were talking about banning him for life. He insulted the whole African football. Yet Africans sit up there saying he's a hero. They don't want, and then you get this reward in the end. You know, it needed to be a lesson taught. In the end, you rewarded bad behaviour. But from now on, I see Morocco as just seeing the African Cup of Nations as a tournament that we just use our youngsters, see if we can develop for the World Cup events. I don't think we take that serious anymore if you can't take your punishment serious anymore. Morocco should just focus on itself. You can't help a person that doesn't want to be helped. And unfortunately, we tried, yet nothing resulted in it. I'm so disappointed by those decisions. Yeah, Morocco got fined as well, which is ridiculous. Never enough close to what Senegalese got fined as well. So at the end of the day,
Senegal is getting fined $615,000 and Morocco $315,000 after that chaotic Afcon final. So the CAF disciplinary board is sanctioning both federations, the Senegalese coach, and players on both sides. First, the Moroccans are paying half of what the Senegalese are paying. Let's start with the Senegalese. They will pay $300,000 for this, the confrontation between the fans and the security staff. Senegal is getting fined another $300,000 for unsporting conduct of its players and technical staff. Senegal will also pay $15,000 for misconduct of the national team due to 5 players having received cautions. The Senegalese coach, CAFhavw, is getting suspended for 5 CAF matches and will have to pay a fine of $100,000. Senegalese players Ismaila Sarr and Iliman Ndiaye both suspended for 2 matches. The Royal Moroccan Federation fined $200,000 for Towelgate. The official reason is inappropriate behavior of the stadium's ball boys during the final. The Moroccans getting fined another $100,000 for improper conduct of the team and technical staff who invaded the VAR review area and obstructed the referee's work, and they will pay another $15,000 for fans using lasers during the final. Achraf Hakimi is suspended for 2 matches. Ismail Saibari is suspended for 3 matches and fined $100,000 for his role in what is now known as Towelgate. I was at this game and I know
Finally, CAF sanctions Morocco. The Confederation of African Football, CAF, has sanctioned the Federation of Moroccan Football for the inappropriate behavior that erupted in the final game of the Afcon 2025 in Morocco. Now, the Federation of Moroccan Football received a total of $315,000 in fines. Remember the ball boys who were constantly taking Edward Mendy's towel? For that action, the Federation were fined $200,000. Now, they were also fined $100,000 for inappropriate conduct by players and some technical staff, those stewards, and some of the players who were, interfering with the referee and even the VAR officials. For For that action, they got $100,000 fine, and also $15,000 fine for their supporters using lasers. Remember when Edward Benny was lasered? Not even many players, even our goalkeeper Nigeria, the Nigeria's goalkeeper was also lasered by Moroccan fans. Now for that action, they got $15,000 fine. Now some players also received sanctions. Achraf Hakimi got a 2-match ban for inappropriate conduct. Remember when Achraf Hakimi also handed out Edward Mendy's towel? For that action, he got 2-match ban. Ismail Saibari, which is the player who stood there, preventing the Senegalese reserve goalkeeper from giving Edward Mendy his towels. For that action, he received a 3-match ban and $100,000 fine. That is not all. CAF also rejected Moroccan's appeal to, stripe Senegal of the Afcon 2025 trophy. Well done, CAF. Well done. We can now say that CAF is fair and you have delivered justice.
CAF sanctioned Senegal and Morocco after the Afcon 2025 final. Senegal faces penalties, including a $615,000 fine for misbehavior and 5 yellow cards. Coach CAFhavw received a 5-match suspension and a $100,000 fine. Players Ndiaye and Sarr suspended. Morocco was fined $315,000 for ball boys' misbehavior, players' misconduct, and fans' lasers. CAF rejected Morocco's appeal, declaring Senegal Afcon 2025 champions. These sanctions underscore CAF's commitment to fair play and integrity in Africa.
Now, the much-awaited sanctions are finally here. Senegal has finally been fined by the CAF, the Confederation of African Football. So to split it up, you find that $300,000 was for fans and unruly misconduct in the pitch. You all saw what's happened, and of course the fight that were happening in the pitch, in the stadium. And then of course another $300,000 for the misconduct of the players and the staff. Of course, not forgetting another $15,000 for 5 players having been booked during the match. So that totaling to $615,000. And again, the coach, CAFhavw, has been banned for 5 CAF matches. Underline the CAF matches, not FIFA matches. Of course, Senegal are heading towards the FIFA World Cup and still is allowed to still coach the team. But again, if you have CAF matches, you won't be allowed to coach for the next 5 consecutive matches. So, and again, you're looking at Morocco has also been fined $315,000, mostly on the ball boys' misconduct, especially when they are taking the towels from various teams. Of course, when we had Nigeria match, and then of course when we had the Senegal match on the final. And not forgetting that also CAF has actually thrown away the petition by Morocco to sanction or to strip Senegal their cup final. So that has been thrown away, and of course CAF are just confirming that Senegal are duly the winners of the Afcon. So that's it for the sanctions. Are you okay with the sanctions, or maybe you can comment and tell us more about what